Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Xbox Factor podcast for this week. Of course, I am one of your hosts, Mr. BoomStickXL. We started a little bit early today because of personal reasons. My wife is downtown getting recertified for CPR, and obviously, Manhattan traffic sucks. So I'm going to have to leave the show a little bit early. So we're going to do a 60-minute show. But of course, my co host and one of my absolutely best friends that I've never met before. We're talking about the Welsh gamer, Drew. Listen, I can't thank you enough again for partnering up on this journey and, starting 15 minutes early today. Welcome back.
Not a problem, Boom, and I hope everything's okay your end. But no, 15 minutes early, 15 minutes late. Hey ho, who gives a fuck? It's all good. Buzzing, man. Good to be here. Absolutely amazing time. And let's hit these topics, man. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Well, listen, we're going to jump right into the topics because we have a lot of them. And the first one is a good one. It's a great talking point. I'm going to jump right into Sunset Overdrive 2. Now, this is something that every Xbox gamer has been asking for. And obviously, in my opinion, this is something that needs to happen. But here's my question. And I'm gonna break down an interview that was done by IGN with Ted Price. Is Microsoft tone deaf on this project? I have to be honest. I think that it's probably one of this generation's biggest exclusives for Microsoft. It was critically acclaimed. It was typical Insomniac at their finest, and recently, and this was just this story I pulled this week, news for a potential sequel to Sunset Overdrive comes by the way of an interview between IGN and the CEO of Insomniac Games, Ted Price. Now, obviously, Ted has already voiced his desire to create a sequel for the property, and that there's a potential for the game to be multi-platform, though they owe Microsoft one title, so I don't think it's going to be multi-platform. And honestly, I think it should stay as an exclusive. But, when they were talking to Ted Price, he basically, when they asked, how come we don't have a Sunset Overdrive 2 in development, he didn't say we were doing Spider-Man. He didn't say that we're partnering up with Sony to make a sequel. All he said simply was, ask Microsoft. Now, look, this generation, Microsoft has had its very, very low points, and in recent months, very high points. Every Xbox fan is smiling ear to ear since E3 2018. We're all happy. We know about the studios. We know about the money being spent. But, there comes a point where even if you're not going to make a $10 million profit, you got to take one for the team. And releasing a Sunset Overdrive 2, I think, would be one of those good faith kind of decisions that Microsoft could do to not only, continue to cater to the fan base, but possibly open the door for new fans, because Sunset Overdrive was a fantastic, game. So, Drew, I want to go right to you on this. In my opinion, and I want to hear yours because it's very important, is Microsoft tone deaf and not listening to the fans about releasing a Sunset Overdrive 2?
Now this one, I had to give this one a big think because I've always been very open and proud. I've always proudly beaten my chest saying that Microsoft are one with the gamer and they listen, and I still do believe in that. I think E3 this year was testament to that with all the studios they acquired and stuff like that. But at the same time, yes, I have to agree. There are moments where I scratch my head and I'm just thinking to myself, like, Microsoft, like, what are you doing? Because, like, I can't be the only one. You can't be the only one. I mean, who have asked for sequels to not only Sunset Overdrive. I mean, like, I've got a little list now. Rise, Son of Rome, Alan Wake, Quantum Break.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a couple. I probably haven't mentioned any. I got Fable written down. I know there's a speculation that Playground are working on that, but still, we're talking years have gone by now and not a word for any of these games. And Sunset Overdrive, in my opinion, sits pretty at the top of that list because it was a very successful IP for Xbox at the beginning of this generation. And yeah, boom. It is a head scratcher. It's a head scratcher. It's one of those times where you're just like Microsoft, like, okay, like you're listening, you obviously do listen, you're hearing us, but why do you turn a blind eye to certain things that the majority of people are asking for? And when it concerns Sunset Overdrive, as that's what this topic's about, um, I have no doubt that they will revisit Sunset Overdrive, as I have no doubt they'll revisit maybe an Alan Wake or potentially a Rise or something like that. But I'm wondering if at the minute Microsoft have a vision that they want to see through before they concern themselves with IPs that have already had a a pilot version of said franchise. I'm wondering if like with the Initiative, Playground Games, Ninja Theory, just to name a few. I'm wondering if they're aiming to start a new franchise of game before they start revisiting ones that they've already made. That's probably the only way I can rationalize this almost ignorance on Microsoft's part. I'm wondering if they're just taking notes. They're like, yep, we hear you. We will revisit Sunset Overdrive, but right now we're concentrating on the multiple IPs at work by these new studios we've acquired, which you asked for, by the way, gamers. So
Yes.
don't forget that. That's pretty much me, just at my very best attempt as just a gamer from Wales who knows little or nothing about what goes on behind who knows little or nothing about what goes on behind closed doors over there at Redmond, Washington, with the old Microsoft headquarters. I'm just assuming that they're listening, but they're not going to do anything about it until they see their current blueprints through.
Well, you know what? You do make a lot of sense. And here's the thing. This is my take on the situation. Now, this is obviously a Xbox centric show, but you can't mention Insomniac games without mentioning Spider-Man. And obviously, it's ultra successful. Now, I say that because they're not the biggest company, Insomniac Games, but they're also not an indie company. So they do have a significant amount of staff members. But with the success of Spider-Man, you could almost guarantee that Sony's going to sign them up for a sequel. But at the same time, they're a company that, with the success of Spider-Man, which is obviously an exclusive on the PlayStation 4, they could staff up, okay, and run two projects, making a Sunset Overdrive 2 an exclusive for the Microsoft platform. And I think that would be great for both platforms, their fans, and the company itself. I have to say that this particular subject is a bit sore for me because, like you, I scratch my head wondering, what are they thinking? When Sunset Overdrive launched back in, I believe it was 2014, it was only, first of all, it was a new IP. That's, again, common sense. But what a lot of people don't understand is that there were only 10 million Xbox One consoles in the wild. And on top of that, they were getting beat to death by the media. Okay? So even, let's just say, hypothetically, 25% of your fan base, which would be considered a big W in 2018's current landscape, when it comes to IPs that are exclusive to a brand, and the amount of gamers that will buy for it. For like instance, if there are 85 million PlayStation 4s, so if you got 6% or 7% of the populace to buy an exclusive, that would be considered a big win, because that would be somewhere around 5.5, 6 million copies of that game sold. So that would be a big W. And that would go for the Microsoft brand as well. If you put out Sunset Overdrive, it's going to basically be, Insomniac's love letter to the Xbox fan base. And because the most of the Xbox fan base are not your casual gamers, they're your diehard gamers, which is why the first party IPs do sell 5, 6, 7. I mean, look at Forza Horizon 3, 10 million copies, which we'll get into later on in the show. You put this game out, you're going to make money. And again, you're not building this game from scratch. You have all of the assets from the first game. You just have to make some changes, you know, make the world a little bit more alive, make the world a little bit bigger. And of course, the most important and the biggest thing that people asked for was multiplayer co-op. So what's your take on what I'm saying? Do you think that if all of this is in front of Phil Spencer, what could possibly be the holdup?
I think I have a theory, and it only really come to mind after what you were just like after everything you just said. I personally think, and I think us as gamers, it's not just you, Boom, it's not Bob down the road, it's not just me, little old Welsh gamer. It is everyone, the gaming community as a whole. We almost live in a "what have you done for me lately" kind of mentality,
Yes.
And we tend to forget what happened 2 weeks ago. But if you remember rightly, the whole of the latter part of 2017, the first quarter of 2018, the whole build up to the 2018's E3, the narrative was Xbox doesn't have any new IPs.
Right.
So, and let's face it, like that was the narrative, that was the big push from all angles, whether the haters or the people who were fans of the system, and they came out swinging at E3 with all of these new acquisitions, and we know by now that they have probably put heavy amount of money and time, resources, and all kinds of funding into whatever these new IPs are. And that kind of goes back to my original point when I said that at the moment, I think they've got a very, very, very packed blueprint of what they want to see between now and the end of this generation, and how they want to start next generation off with all of these new big hitters. And like I said, I think bottom line, I think the only holdup is, Boom, there's just no time in their current schedule to revisit this IP. I'm not saying it's never going to happen. Insomniac Games clearly have their hands full with Spider-Man. You just know Sony are going to snap them up for a sequel. Probably you'll have another Spider-Man game next year or the year after. So I honestly think the only reason Xbox hasn't gone, yo, Insomniac, come over here. Here's a check. How many zeros do you want? Can we have a Sunset Overdrive 2, please? Thank you. Here's your free Pepsi. I just think the only holdup is that, Boom. I think Microsoft have their hands full.
You know, I agree with you, and what you're saying makes total sense. But you know what? They are Microsoft, and they are in a position now. You know, again, this is just a guy from New Rochelle, New York, kind of just throwing his ideology out there. I'm not a businessman. I don't work for Microsoft. I would like to. I'd love if Microsoft is listening, a community manager job opening. Just give me a call. You know, hit me up in the DM and we'll talk. But honestly, the thing is this: this is a game that has been spoken about and asked for. Basically, the fans have been begging for this, and it's frustrating because, again, 2018 is going to be very light on exclusives. Now, I don't think 2019 is going to be light because, you know, obviously they have a lot of things working. I've heard through the grapevine, and you have actually, you and I have talked privately about this. Ninja Theory's game is a lot closer to release, the next one that they're currently in development of, than any of the other studios. So we could get something new from Ninja Theory in 2019 towards the end of the year. We don't know. But, you know, again, it's just one of those. I think when you talk about the Xbox in in this generation, there are two games that immediately jump off the page as sequels that it's almost a crime against humanity that are not out. Rise, Son of Rome, which you mentioned, is an automatic. Why don't we have another one? And Sunset Overdrive is the other. I mean, of course, they've had a lot of other IPs, like you said, Quantum Break, Alan Wake is another one it's just a bit of a head scratcher. But, you know, look, here's the thing. You know, we can talk about this all day long. Not to mention, Boom, since picking up Rare as a first-party studio, the amount of IPs that they're sitting on as well, like Conquer and Perfect Dark, just to yes.
Sorry, carry on what you're saying, dude, but it is a head scratcher. But then that just makes me think again, they must be just busy with whatever it is they're working on currently. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But you know what? Let's move on to the next topic, because I think this is going to be a good one. And
you know, this is going to get some people to. It's going to ruffle some feathers, especially when you say microtransactions. People get nervous, and in a report that I pulled for today's show, Halo Infinite is supposed to or possibly going to feature cosmetic microtransactions. But you know what? If done with cosmetics only in mind, I honestly don't think this is going to be a big problem. Also, in the story, rec packs are probably going to be returning in Halo Infinite's online multiplayer modes, and that worked out just fine for Halo 5's Warzone. The community loved it. Now, here's the thing. The new information comes to us via Windows Central, and this is what they had to say about it. 343 Industries is looking for an experienced online design director to lead and join the Halo team. The job description says this: you will oversee and provide vision for multiple facets of design and implementations. This includes microtransactions and integration into our business plan throughout the game's lifespan. Now, what this sounds like to me is that Halo 6, or Halo Infinite as it's going to be called because they're losing the numbers, is a game that's going to be around for a while. And that's good. Now, I'm going to ask you, what your opinion on this, but I just kind of want to throw mine out there because, like I said, when you say microtransactions, everyone gets horrified because you think of, the Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? You think, oh my God, we're going to be raped as fans. They're going to rake us over the coals. But this is Microsoft. They're obviously well aware that microtransactions has a stink that they don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. And that's blatantly obvious because Forza Horizon 4 does not have any. So that they're aware of how bad this is going to be. Now, microtransactions for cosmetic only, meaning that if there's a cool looking helmet that I want to wear when I'm running around as a Spartan playing multiplayer and I want to buy it, me, Boom, wants to spend $1.99, that is perfectly okay. If you tell me that I can spend $5 and get a better equipped sniper rifle that fires multiple rounds by one trigger pull that the other guy doesn't have, that's where we would have a problem. So I want to go to you on this, Drew. What is your take on this, and should gamers be concerned?
I can say wholeheartedly, and I have multiple points I want to cover here, that the fact that this game will have microtransactions, I am not in the slightest bit concerned at all in terms of how it might or might not affect the multiplayer. And I will tell you why. When Halo is concerned, and now we're talking the multiplayer, it can only affect it literally this news now, microtransactions, it simply can only affect cosmetics.
Right. Yes.
The whole of Halo is literally built from the ground up to accommodate esports for an equal playing field. It's always been that way, with the exception of like bigger team battle game types like your Warzone and your Invasion from Halo Reach, which aren't so equal. It's just like it's just a sandbox just to blow each other up and have a laugh. But for the most part, Halo is built around competitive online multiplayer where you all start with the same gun and you've got to control the map, dominate parts of the map, and you use the power weapons granted to you via whatever map you're playing to take extra control of the map. And that's why I'm not that concerned. And for me personally, I don't mind having like the randomness of like rec packs and stuff like that. But the fact that I could potentially be able to buy with my money, if I so choose, like the Master Chief helmet or a certain helmet I like, because that's the one thing I don't like about rec packs is the randomness, especially when it concerns like Gears of War, where there's so many like duplicates. You save up the in-game currency, you buy yourself 10 packs, and you get the same bloody gun skin over and over again. Winds me up. If there's something I want and I like it, I'd love to be able to have the option to pay for it. So when it comes to cosmetics, I'm with you, Boom. It doesn't bother me. So yeah, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned at all. I don't think it's a problem. When I think of microtransactions in a game, I just think bottom line, the guys behind this game, they need to make money as these games are getting bigger and bigger, which fills me with confidence that Halo Infinite is going to be a particularly large project, as Halo hasn't had microtransactions before. So this just says to me that this game's going to be an extra step above in terms of size and scope, because they're putting more money into it. Thus, they're making it microtransaction, generous, so people can have the option to spend money. So with that, I say no. Personally, if you were to ask me right now, do I think that they're going to make it so you pay to win, like games like FIFA or games like Star Wars Battlefront, as you already mentioned? I'll honestly, hand on heart, and I bookmark this, guys. I'll say it proudly. I don't care if I get scorned up the line. I do not think that is ever going to happen. At least not with Halo. I don't think it'll happen. It's an option, which I think a lot of people will. People are impatient. People want certain things for their character. It's a way of personalizing your character in a game you follow. I think it'll be well received. I don't see the problem. Microtransactions are very common now.
Yes.
And as long as they do keep it only cosmetic, I have absolutely no issue with this. But I can confidently say it will only be for cosmetics, whether that be guns, skins, armor. It will not, I repeat, it will not affect gameplay whatsoever. I have full faith in that.
Right. Well, I'm going to say this. I want to read another excerpt that I got from GameSpot. And it says, according to a report by GameStop, the listing adds that the microtransactions should encourage gamers to express their passion. And basically what that means, in layman's term, if you will, is that there's going to be various helmets and armor that have different styles that will be available for the multiplayer co-op. Now, one thing that I've learned, being an older gamer and taking a step back from the industry that I love. I mean, I've been doing this since 1978, folks. So it's, I've seen the industry grow, digress, grow, and digress again. And I'm looking from the window that I'm looking out now, I see growth. And the one thing I will say that it is slightly disappointing is that this generation is very entitled, right? And what I mean by that is not to insult anyone's age, because I was your age, whatever your age is, entitled generation at one point. And I'm sure that I thought that I wanted everything. I want the front parking spot. I want the corner office, and I want that salary with 6 figures. But guess what? You got to work. Now, I'm bringing that up because, gamers we're a fickle bunch. We spend $65.01 on a game, right? Or we buy the deluxe edition, which is $100, and you get to play 4 days early, and you get all the the DLC included, and you get an extra scarf, or you get an extra rim for your car. And then we want everything free after that. And the thing is this, the reason why I don't have a problem with microtransactions that are cosmetic only going into Halo, the next Halo, is this. We want new content on a quarterly basis, meaning every 3 months. You play a particular mode for 3 months, and you're like, you know what? I played the shit out of this, and I want to play something else. Well, guess what, folks? This is Microsoft's way of saying, guess what? Every piece of content that gets added to this game will not cost you a dime. You just turn on your system, you hit the guide button, you pick the game you want to play, and you start playing. And they're going to fund this, all of these extra maps and all these extra features, with microtransactions. Now, again, it's the company of 343. It's the job of 343 to continue to support this game, to make sure that updates are constantly there, and if there's an issue, they address it immediately. But if you want new content and you keep having the free mentality, you got to understand that the company doesn't owe you anything. You buy the game, you play the game, and then I'm not saying everyone, but a good portion of people are going to sell that game to GameStop or to EB Games or to or to Game in the UK, and that 343 and Microsoft are not getting a dime from that. So they have to support their people that are supporting the game by using microtransactions. Now, again, if this was a Star Wars Battlefront situation, I would be the first one in line with the pitchfork in my right hand and the torch in my left. but this is only going to be cosmetic. So, I mean, what is and what I'm saying makes sense to you, Drew?
Yeah, mate, I will back you up with one pitchfork in one hand and gasoline in the other hand, and you just have to bring a lighter, mate. Because if they want to go down the road of like EA with Ultimate Team and stuff like that, where you literally when nothing's fair, like let's be fair, that the person who spends the money will have the better team. Or Star Wars, the one who spends the money will have the purple grade bloody promotion packs and the best guns and the best perks, and it's bullshit, really. I find it an absolute gross misconduct of the gamer who buys a game. Like, not everyone has that extra cash. Like, think about it. Like, if you're an individual who loves Star Wars Battlefront, but you don't have all the money in the world, you've saved, putting your pocket money under your pillow. Every time a tooth comes out, the tooth fairy gives you a nickel. You put that to, you put that towards Star Wars Battlefront 2, and you're like, oh, wicked! I finally got the game. And then you're getting raked over the coals and battered and bruised and whipped like a bitch every time you go into multiplayer because you can't afford to buy all these bloody extra perks and pay to win stuff with these microtransactions on that game. Christ, I think it's disgusting. So if Halo ever fell down that hole, I'd be the first one with the pitchfork and the gasoline, and like I said, Boom, you just bring the lighter. But like I said, and I hope you agree as well, I can confidently say when it concerns Halo and its multiplayer, that will never happen. Never.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And you know what? Like I said, I'm really happy with the way that the Halo topic went. You hit on all points. I hit on all points. I hope the chat thinks that what we're talking about is okay. But you know what? We have to talk about a bit of a milestone, and that's going to be the next topic. If you're not familiar with a game called Forza Horizon 3, and you're new to Xbox, it is the premier racer on any console: PC, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and the Xbox. It is the creme of the creme when it comes to racing. And they just crossed a major milestone, and they announced just the other day that Forza Horizon 3 has crossed 10 million individual players on the Xbox One and PC. Now, this is big news for many reasons. First and foremost, and I've seen this on Twitter the last couple of days, and it's very frustrating. I've heard this particular comment. Well, racing is a niche, game. It's a niche genre. Not a lot of people play it. Well, considering that Forza Horizon 3 has only been out a couple of years and it crossed 10 million individual players, that's saying that maybe it's not as niche as people are saying. And why this is good and why this is great for not only Microsoft as a platform, but Playground Games is because in just, 2 weeks away, we have Forza Horizon 4. And if you played the demo, and I know both of us did, you were completely blown away. Drew, how is this exciting news? And is it perfect timing to make this announcement?
It's you got to I think you got to stand back and just appreciate the success of this game, simply because the fact that it's like a racer and it targets like it's like a niche, almost a niche target audience. Like, not everyone is into racers. I can honestly say that while I'm impressed with it, I've played the demo. The last racer I bought might have been bloody hell back on like the original Xbox or maybe early on in the lifespan of the 360. It's just, it speaks volumes on the franchise, like, and it targets so many people across the board, not just your hardcore racer, but even the casual who fancies playing a game. Or it's an incredible feat for a developer, and it just poses so many questions in my head. Boom, like I've said to you before, my cogs are constantly going. Once I'm posed like a question or like a brain tickler, like, it gets me thinking, and for me, it just gets me excited. Not only for the success of Forza Horizon 4, I hope it does absolutely blow people away. the demo, the colors and the graphics and the gameplay is absolutely amazing. I really do hope that it grows and grows and grows. But for me, this just makes me excited because it just proves what Playground Games are truly made of as a development company, like what they can do. And it just makes me think, like, if this is what they can do with a racer, and these figures, let's be real, Boom,
Yes.
10 million, these figures dominate. I haven't sat down and done the research, I'll be honest, but I can confidently on a limb say that those figures, for considering it's a racer as well, dominates a lot of other genres. That is like, those are the figures that I can assure you, like, you know, companies like 343, speaking of Halo before, or the Coalition, if we wanted to talk Gears, those are the sort of numbers that they want. So for a racer to get those kind of numbers is just outstanding. Blows my mind. You know that those are the kind of numbers that most developers want to see next to their game. So it's amazing. It just makes me also pose the question, like, if this is what we're getting from racers, you know, like with Forza, and they are amazing, what is the level of excellence that we can expect from the new unannounced project that's going on behind closed doors? It really gets me excited. Truly, truly gets me excited. And like Chaos Theory just said in the chat, Fable will be godly from Playground. And he took the words right out of my mouth. I know I keep singing the Fable song, but if in fact we are all correct in speculating that it's Fable that Playground are working on, it's a wrap. It's an absolute wrap.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
If they release Fable by Playground Games as a launch title for the Xbox 2, it's a wrap.
Well, you know what? I'm going to continue this party wagon, if you will. Okay. Now the thing is this: Playground Games. You know, you might not have thought of them as a AAA developer for maybe Forza Motorsport 1, right? Or a Forza Horizon 1. But when you started to see, you know, Forza Horizon 2 come out, and then Forza Motorsport 2, and you're starting to see that the tracks are getting better and the cars are getting better. And then they start adding modes like, hey, you want to look around the car? Here's a 3D mode. Just open all the doors, all the trunks, look at the rims, and you're starting to see right now as it stands. And and if you want to challenge me on this, anyone in the chat or anyone that's going to hear this, I'm up for the challenge. They are Playground Games is probably one of the most premier developers in 2018 right now. Okay. They knocked it out of the park with Forza Horizon 3, Blizzard Mountain, and obviously the Hot Wheels DLC probably will go down in the history of gaming as two of the best DLCs for a game, not a racing game, not a particular genre, for a game. You know, what they gave you to do and how it looked and how it handled. It just literally, I can go on all day. We could spend another 30 minutes talking about Forza Horizon 3. But the fact that 10 million people have played the game, listen, I'm going to say this. If I was a developer and 2 people played my game, I would be excited because I would be an indie developer. A big developer like this that now is a part of Microsoft, releasing a title in just a couple of weeks and puts out this news, because this news came from them. And I think it was, I mean, obviously it was purposely done. And it's good PR. You know, you mentioned Forza Horizon 3, and of course, you start talking about, well, Forza Horizon 4 is right around the corner. Holy shit, let's get going. But you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, if you have anything else you want to add, I'm just going to just throw this little sprinkles on this Sunday that I have in front of me. If in fact, and I'm going to agree with you, I'm going to agree with everybody in the chat. If in fact, this company, this developer is making the next Fable, get ready for what's going to be Game of the Year whatever year it comes out. That's all I'm going to say.
No, mate. I mean, like I said, it's an absolute wrap. And just to add, talking to Playground Games, they came out. It wasn't actually that long ago. It was only a few months ago, tops. Anyone in the chat, please let me know if you remember. But they actually came out and boldly stated in the wake of the acquisition to Microsoft that their sole ambition as a company is to become the #1 best developer in the
They
world.
did say that.
So Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon 3, they are testament to this. And like we said, if Fable comes out by Playground, which we can heavily presume it is going to be, mate, like you said, game of the year, game of the decade, game of the century. It's a wrap. It's an absolute wrap. They are a very talented. Not many companies out there can come forward and say something as bold as that, and it has legs.
Yes, like, that's true. You know, it's funny when you I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to add to what you're saying. If it were any other developer, the media would have devoured them.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sure they wanted to. I'm sure IGN were twitching. But but bottom line, you can't do it. Don't put your hand in the snake's cage if you haven't got any gloves on. You know?
That's awesome. I love it.
I got nothing else to add, mate. They are an incredible company. They're striving for big things. They are one of the few developers out there that can, in fact, hold that mantle if they keep going on this trajectory. And I'm excited to see what they have in store for us as the future proceeds.
Well, I listen, dude, you know what? We have really knocked it out of the park. First and foremost, I got to pay the bills. I have to say a big thank you to Shan786 for the $5 super chat. He says, Forza Horizon 4 is effing mental. Sorry, I try to do this PG as much as I can. 94 Metacritic for him. It's going to blow past the 10 million individual players. Loving the show. Keep up the great work. Hey, listen, dude, I do this for the love of this community, which has been so welcoming to me. Of course, I've had the real privilege of meeting people like Crazy Greek Dude and Vladdy and Sean, you know, and so many others that have that come by. Ice Queen Gaming, Saltiest Gaming, Kasi 1300. I mean, you know, you guys show up each and every week. You know, DJ Singh, another big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of his. Fuzzy Belvedere, Chaos Theory. I mean, Indie Gamer. It just goes on. The Graphic God, you know, J Dubs. It's just the outpour of support that I have seen is always going to be in my heart as being, you know, like the best thing to happen. And of course, meeting someone that I consider a brother like the Welsh Gamer, and then of course getting to work with him on a weekly basis. It's like a freaking dream come true. But you know what? I want to segue into the next thing, and it involves Forza in a big way. Microsoft announces a special offer for the Xbox Game Pass ahead of Forza 4, and the timing couldn't be better. If you want Forza Horizon 3 and Forza Motorsport 7 for free, that's right, folks, I'm saying for absolutely free, all you have to do is go on to your Xbox or go to xbox.com and look up the deal that they have for Game Pass. Right now, up until September 30th, right ahead of the release of Forza Horizon 4, you can get 12 months of Game Pass for $99. And on top of that, you're going to get Forza Horizon 3 and Forza Motorsport 7 for absolute free. Now, currently, if you bought both of those games together, just the standard versions, it's still $80. One is 30 and one is 50. So, you know, listen, I've been beating this Game Pass drum since the beginning. People thought I was a mental case for doing it. I don't care. I think it's the best deal in gaming. I think it's the biggest bang for your buck. I think Microsoft is doing it right. They're giving you 2 free Forza games ahead of Forza Horizon 4. Oh, which, by the way, is going to be in Game Pass if you don't have the money to buy it, you know, the $60 or the $100 edition. Drew, how big is this for Microsoft? And is it important that they're pushing the Game Pass mantra right ahead of the release of the next Forza game?
No, it's huge, Boom. I mean, I've been you say you're an advocate of this. I've been an advocate of it as well. I mean, let's just look at Game Pass as is before this deal. It's $120. Speaking of American dollar, because right. I don't actually know the equivalent offhand in my country, but let's just break it down. $120 a year. That is 2 games, people.
Yes,
2 games, and now they're telling you it's $99 for the next 10 days. So for the next 10 days. You can. It's limited to the next 10 days. The deal is available till the 30th, so you've got 10 days to grab it. It's $99. So that is 1.5 game.
Yes.
1.5 game or
Correct.
games. I don't know if you'd say it plural, but and that's crazy. And you just mentioned then, Boom. You said Forza Horizon 3 and Forza Motorsport 7 concurrently as a two, if you were to buy them together right now on Xbox Live Store, come to like $80+ bucks.
Right.
So you're still saving $10, and you've basically in the wake of buying those two games, if we're talking like in analogy form, you're getting all these other games free. Like it's absolutely insane bang for your buck. And yeah, I just think these deals, it not only promotes Xbox's first party, as people need to realize that you literally get every first party title day and date, but it's a huge promotion for Forza Horizon 4. I think it's fantastic. Like, I'm always one to say, like, if you've got, use your strengths, man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's
yes.
like, use your strengths. If you're a boxer in the ring and you've got a mean right hook, don't keep it tucked in. You throw that right hook until you see the guy hit the canvas. Like, and this is just one of Xbox's massive pluses. This is a huge deal. And right in the nick of time. You've got an amazing game coming in. What is it? It's not long. It's like literally like next month, October time, isn't it? So get this if you haven't already got Game Pass, guys, or if you have got it but you just want to save that little extra bit of dollar. You just grab this deal. You can, even if you're active on Game Pass, I believe you can snap this deal up.
You can, yeah. You know what? I just want to address Chaos Theory, good friend of the show. He's always in the chat, so big thank you to him. He says that, it is a deal, but he already has Game Pass. Now, here's the thing, and I looked into this. I have Game Pass. I'm paid up until March of 2019. If I get on this deal, which I'm going to do because I don't think I could pass it up, and I'm going to wind up seeing if I can actually give away the two games because I have both Forza Horizon 3 and Motorsport 7. That just gets back-ended. So it will start right after March. So if I have like 6 months, it just gets compiled. It's the same way with Xbox Live. Like, I'm paid up until 2020. Every time I get a code and I see it's cheap on sale for like $34, I get two at a clip and I just keep adding it. So don't feel like you're gonna get the short end of the stick. The 12 months is just gonna be compiled onto what you have left of whatever Game Pass that is. So it's just gonna be an additive. I'm with you. I think that this is real. Again, if you've been listening to me since I got in on the podcast scene in June of 2017 with Mooch's Crossfire, I've been really hounding Microsoft's marketing, and for good reason. I mean, again, it could be a whole show on its own how poor it's been. This is a great marketing ploy. You're getting your digital service out there. You're saying $99 for you getting 12 months. And oh, by the way, we're going to give you the two best racers ever released on any console. Here you go. Take those for free. $100 savings right out of the box. I mean, it's fantastic. So
sorry, I was muted then. I was just saying I completely agree, and I was just like, why ain't he responding? No, honestly, it's a fantastic deal. Anyone who can poke fun at this just need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well, listen, there isn't much you can say about the game, about this deal and the games you're getting. I mean, it's literally quality around the clock when it comes to everything you get in Game Pass and what you're getting for free. But you know what? Let's talk about PUBG for a second. There's a big story about PUBG gets downgraded to improve overall performance, but the game has been in development for years now, and was recently just taken out of the Xbox preview program. Now, when this happens, a game is supposed to be running at retail price performance, and obviously, apparently, it's not. PUBG's graphics on the Xbox One X are being downgraded to address performance issues, but it's only temporary. Now, look, here's the thing, folks. I don't play PUBG. I played maybe 2 hours of it. I bought it the day it came out. I was a supporter of the company. I wanted to see Bluehole succeed. They have succeeded financially. they have not succeeded when it comes to finally getting Players Unknown Battlegrounds running the way, let's say, I don't know, Call of Duty's Blackout mode was running. You know, I understand they're not a AAA developer, and they may not ever be. But my question to the chat and my question to you, Drew, you know, with this new information coming out right after it's taken out of the preview program and they're charging full boat for this thing now, is it unfair to charge full boat, number one? And is this a possible death sentence to the title? Because obviously PUBG's got the blackout mode, right? You know, Battlefield 5 has the you know, their Ring of Fire mode coming out. You know, Fortnite is still a juggernaut, and they're making money hand over fist. You know, there's going to be probably some sort of a mode added to Red Dead Redemption 2. There's rumors that there's going to be some sort of a 50-man battle royal type of game. This information kind of, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, and if you disagree with me, chat, please hit me up. You know, let me know. And everyone's opinion is valid in my opinion. Do you think that this is possibly the death sentence of PUBG?
Ah, well, right, here we go. Here we go. Right. Can I disclose or openly say, will this be the death sentence of PUBG? That is something that is up for discussion. But all I will say is that they're toying with, you know, it's like they're swimming with jaws at this point. They're toying like it's honestly. I got some notes here. I've written down like Bluehole's timing could not have been worse. Making this a full product release. At this point in time, they're just giving people more and more reason to jump ship to Call of Duty's Blackout or any of the other battle royale modes that are coming. Like if their goal was to make people think, no, PUBG is my go-to battle royale mode, they're potentially pushing people away, which could potentially at the same time, like I could be answering your question in a more drawn out way, saying yes, it is a probably a death sentence, but I'm not going to go there yet. All I'm going to say is the timing is terrible. I'm actually on record around the time of when it was either on this show or the Dragon X when I last talked about PUBG and my thoughts on it going product release. While I was excited and I think that it was a pretty decent idea to an extent, I am on record saying that I feel it was too soon to put this game on retail. And this is where I stand with it. Like if they had just put the game that was already out on preview at the time up on as a full product release, it might have gone a lot smoother. But the reason it's significantly a bad time to do it is because for whatever reason the people at Bluehole decided to tamper with it heavily. They not only did they make it full product release, but they tampered with it so much in the process with a new map. A new shop, new level up system, which they clearly copied from Fortnite's level up system. And all while they are good things, and if it was to go smoothly and work well, then like amazing. But let's call a spade a spade. Bluehole ain't a great company. They aren't a great development company. That's not to say they haven't done a good job with the tools provided and with the skill level that is there, but they aren't a great company. They're very amateur and moderate at best. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just calling a spade a spade. So this is no surprise to me. I feel they jumped the gun. They probably could have waited a little bit longer and kept it in preview. And I think they did, in fact, do one too many things, pushing their luck. And now they have released a game at full product release that is not nearly finished. And yeah. I just made one last point, asterisk next to it, saying I think, sadly, we can probably expect more blips like this in the future. And I'll end my point by saying, is this a death threat? The death sentence? I'll say no, because, they do have connections with Microsoft. Therefore, they probably could lend a hand. I don't know what will happen in the long haul. Will Microsoft pick them up as first party? Will they give them more of a budget? Will they send guys over from where, from their first party teams and get things back on track? I don't know. But all I will say is the guys over at Bluehole, I think they need to just rein it in a little bit. They need to be a bit more realistic with what they have, because
Yes.
PUBG is great. I love it. I play it pretty much daily. But to deny that that it's not a perfect game, and to say it's this, that, and the other, it's it's AAA quality, it's amazing, I'd be lying to everyone listening. I'd be lying to myself. It's a lot of fun for what it is, but they got a long road ahead until it's perfect. So why they've put it on full product release now absolutely blows my mind. And I guess my only question to you, Boom, is what are they charging for full product release?
You know, I actually don't know, to be honest with you, because it's funny. One of the things you can't look is when you have the game downloaded in your console and you go to look, it just says play. It doesn't give you a price. So shame on me as a host not getting the actual retail price. I don't know if anyone knows in the chat. I'll give you a public shout out. I don't know what they're charging for it, but I'll put it to this way: even at $30. And I'm not trying to be a jerk here, $30 is still $30 for a game that at certain points is broken. It's fun. Yes. I know a lot of people that play it. I bought it to support Bluehole, to support Microsoft. I thought it might be a genre that I can get into. To be honest with you, it's not really my bag. Okay. Vogel's Creek is saying it's $30. So so it stayed at $30. Okay, that's fine. But again, that's no excuse for downgrading it now. Again, right. I mean, it's like I said, you said it, and I could not have said it any better. The timing could not be worse, because obviously millions upon millions of people played the Call of Duty Blackout mode, which I heard very good things. Now, someone donated the code. By the time I was able to get to it, I didn't put any time into it. I'm not really a Call of Duty multiplayer kind of a guy. Certainly not Battle Royale. But I am going to say this, and I said this on Friday night's Crossfire. I'm kind of coming around, because the latest trailer for the Blackout mode looked phenomenal. It looked like what you would expect in a Call of Duty game. Fast, big explosions, lots of players, vehicles, helicopters, truck crashes. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But look, I don't know. You know what? We're close to the end of the show, because it was only going to be 60 minutes. Because obviously I have to get out of here before 12, unfortunately. But I do want to end it with this, Drew. As a person that does play PUBG, who actively enjoys playing PUBG, would you consider putting it down to play Call of Duty's Blackout mode?
It depends how you define putting it down. Do you mean shelf it for life, like never going back, or do you mean just
what I mean is that it currently in its current state, it's not when the Blackout mode releases. It's going to be the better version of the online multiplayer, battle royale type of experience. It's going to run better. It's being done by a AAA developer, a AAA. Even though everyone hates Activision and we all consider them scumbags, because they are. They do have the money behind them. Would you consider saying, okay, PUBG, you know what? I kind of, I've had my fill of you. Bluehole, you've been out for a year and it's still the same problems. I'm gonna head over to Black Ops 4 and see what the deal is, and then you play it, and you're like, wow, this is really polished. Would you be saying bye bye to PUBG?
I'll say this. I'm not going to sit here and say, fuck you, COD, I'm never playing you, because that's pretty much how that's almost how I feel about COD every time COD is mentioned. But here I am, potentially buying it as we speak. I mean, a lot of my friends are interested in it for the Blackout mode, and I can't say I'm not neither. But I think there's always going to be a place in my heart for PUBG, because it started it for me. I do really enjoy PUBG, and I do think PUBG does need a lot of props due when it comes to like the atmosphere it creates when you're playing. I mean, from what I've seen gameplay wise for Blackout, it does look fun, but it's a lot more fast paced. It's a lot cleaner. I'll give it that. But there's just an essence to PUBG that you can't really duplicate. And that's not me trying to sell it to anyone.
No,
I'm
no,
just
listen,
saying
dude,
that,
I love hearing it. Your opinion matters, man. And you know, obviously you are a PUBG player. I am a fraud. I do not play PUBG, but I have, you know what, look, I'm, you know, there are going to be stories that are going to be on this particular show that revolve around Xbox, and if I'm not a player, I'm not going to shy away from the story, because there are people in the chat like yourself and many of the friends that I've met that love PUBG. So I'm not going to shy away from it. I will tell you that I'm not a player, but I will still report on the news. I think that you know, everyone counts, even though if it's a game that I'm not playing.
no, mate, bottom line, Boom, we're gamers. So even if there's a game that is being highlighted in a particular topic that we haven't actively played, I think we've been around the block a long enough time to be able to throw in our opinion. It's just the way it is. Obviously, you've got to be realistic with your opinion. Like, if you haven't played a game, you can't call it trash.
Right,
but
of course.
But obviously, that's where you draw the line. But that's just where professionalism comes through. And I believe me and you actively have that on, you know, in check. So I don't have any problem with hearing your opinion there, dude. The last thing I'll say is, when it concerns Blackout, even though I'm contradicting what I just said, a huge part of me is saying, don't buy it, don't give them money, don't promote them anymore with your wallet, because I find the guys behind Call of Duty to be actively one of the most laziest developers ever.
Terrible. Yeah,
and
I agree. Yes.
They're still using the same graphics engine that they used on Call of Duty Finest Hour on the PS2, for fuck's sake. So, and when it comes to Blackout mode, I mean, bottom line, it's not the first or the last company that's going to be doing a Battle Royale mode. But the fact that it's Call of Duty, literally the number one franchise that literally has not innovated since probably Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare.
Right.
I just find it laziness, and I think I'm not going to point the finger and say, for those who buy and play this Blackout mode, shame on you, because it's everyone's game, it's everyone's preference. You're entitled to do what you want with your money, but I just think, like, it's a cheap out for them. Like, they've done nothing. They have no work has gone into this for them. This probably took them a weekend to put together. Whereas the guys over at PUBG, while I did drag them along the floor a moment ago and say that they're not the best of companies, and I stand by that, they need to be realistic with their goals and what they do. Otherwise, we're going to have more blips like this. But they've worked very fucking hard. And I think for a very, very low budget company who have initially started just making a mod, it was very bare bone basic, and would not have gone anywhere near to where it is now if it wasn't for the Xbox preview. I think that people need to, like, you know, when they compare Blackout and PUBG, I think respect needs to be due. You've got a company on one hand that's worked very hard with minimal budget and tools to get where they are, and a company that's got the budget and the tools, and you're still playing the same fucking graphics engine from 20 plus years ago. I just call it out as I see it, dude. And I'm not saying one or the other is better. I'm just saying that, hell, PUBG is good. I thoroughly enjoy it. Blackout's probably going to be a lot of fun, but, you know, I just hope that PUBG as a whole does, you know, iron out these issues sooner rather than later, because it's not fair on the people who've bought the full product release and, quote, thinking it's going to be a fixed game, and we're already having problems like it was having in the preview. But when it's in the preview, no one questions it, because
that's to be expected, right?
Yeah, but, you know, what can I say other than that?
Well, look, I'm going to say this. First and foremost, and I said this numerous times on Crossfire, and I will reiterate it on this show, I am not buying Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I'm a single-player, old school gamer, like many people in the chat. No single player means no buy for Boom. I also, I'm in several, I think at least half a dozen contests to win it. If I'm playing it, it was either game gifted, which, you know, that would be great. And, you know, I'm not asking for it, but if someone game gifted it to me, of course, I would be grateful, or I won it. I am not giving them my money because obviously, you know, the fall is here and there are too many games, not enough cash. So we'll end the show with that. First and foremost, I have to thank the chat. You guys are the reason why I continue to strive to make myself and the Welsh Gamer better hosts. You show up every week and you really, you keep it clean. You treat everyone, you treat each other with class and respect. I love the interactions that you have with one another. I hope that the same way I call you friends, you call each other friends, because that's the way to be. This as nasty as gaming can be, it's supposed to be a fun place. It's supposed to be a fun hobby, and I love when everyone is just getting along. It's fantastic. But you know what? I really could not do this show. I would not want to do the show, and if he wasn't my co-host, I would cancel the show. The Welsh Gamer, you have an incredible YouTube channel. I think that the Dragon X podcast was one of in this year in 2018 was one of the best things I saw come back on YouTube. I think that you're the guys that you hang with E-Rock and Micro, they are fantastic people. They're great YouTubers. I love your channel. Tell everyone where they can follow you on Twitter and on YouTube.
First, I just want to say, Boom, thank you again. It means a lot that you even asked me to do this with you. The chat is on fire. Big shout out to all of you, as always. Absolutely lively. I love it. And I just want to pick up on a missed opportunity when we were talking about the Xbox Game Pass. I put in brackets, this is a Welsh gamer's moochism. I totally missed the opportunity to use it. I know we should leave Mooch to do the moochisms because he's the man, he's the one who does them best. But I had to debut the Welsh gamer's first Welsh gamerism with these deals are steals when it comes to Xbox Game Pass at $99. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but it kind of seems lost on everyone now because it's not relevant. But anyway, what an outro. The Welsh Gamer here. Please find me on YouTube, The Welsh Gamer, 3 words. Subscribe. Send, give me a constructive criticism on my videos. Please let me know what you think. As for Twitter, at The Welsh Gamer 93, 1 word. Thank you for the support. Yet another great episode of the Xbox Factor. I thoroughly enjoy doing this. The chat is lively. Everyone's awesome. This community is absolutely class. This is awesome, guys. Thank you very much for having me. Back over to Boom.
Okay, well, one quick last shout out, Vladdy Putin, who just said, Boom and Welsh, did you see the new DMC5 trailer, the music, OMG? Yes, I saw the trailer. It is ridiculous, and it happens to be one of the topics in tomorrow morning's Breakfast with Boom. I will be making an announcement this afternoon on the guest list, which is stacked, and that is going to be packed with 10 topics. Hopefully, because we have a stacked guest list, we can get to all of them. Once again, thank you to the chat. Thank you to my co-host, the Welsh Gamer. And I will see everyone live on the air tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next episode of Breakfast with Boom. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Thanks again.